Since the dawn of humanity, there has been a quest to understand the connection between the individual and the universe. Hermeticism, a timeless philosophy, suggests that the relationship between the inner world, represented by consciousness, and the outer world, reflected in nature, is governed by universal principles. This view is based on the concept of microcosm and macrocosm, where the human being is understood as a symbolic reflection of the cosmos, integrating physical, mental, and spiritual dimensions in a harmonious order. Pythagoras, for instance, saw the universe as a manifestation of perfect mathematical proportions, indicating that internal and external balance is achieved by tuning into these laws. Plato, in turn, explored the existence of a world of ideas, a higher plane of perfection that shapes and influences the sensible world. This dual approach provided Hermetic philosophy with a conceptual map for self-discovery and transcendence. Renaissance alchemists, inspired by these roots, revived the notion that transforming matter also implies transforming the soul. For them, understanding nature was not just a scientific endeavor, but also a spiritual path, capable of leading to the elevation of the human being towards a universal truth. Hermeticism teaches that, by recognizing the parallels between what happens within each individual and the natural phenomena, we approach a deeper understanding of purpose and existence. With this foundation, we can begin to explore the grand cosmic order that connects all levels of being, like gears in a universal mechanism. The universe, from the Hermetic perspective, is a perfect symphony of interconnected levels. Each plane of existence, physical, mental, and spiritual, functions as a gear in a cosmic clock, where the movement of one piece resonates throughout the others. This view not only organizes the apparent chaos of the world, but also reveals an intrinsic order that permeates everything that exists. The relationship between the microcosm and the macrocosm, explored by the ancients, manifests in repetitive patterns found both in nature and in the human being. The design of galaxies echoes the spirals of a seashell. The flow of rivers mirrors the movement of our veins and arteries. This correspondence is not coincidental but part of a larger system that regulates life in all its forms. Recognizing these patterns means understanding that existence is guided by universal laws, the same laws that structure the cycles of nature and the inner processes of the human mind. Every changing season, every shining star reflects an active principle that is also present within you. This perception broadens our view of ourselves, connecting us to an order that transcends the limits of the individual. By realizing that we are part of this hierarchy, we understand our role in the whole and the responsibility we have to live in tune with this order. This is not just an invitation to contemplation, but an opportunity to align our choices with the principles that govern existence. Thus, we become active participants in the cosmic movement, in harmony with the flow of life. If the patterns of the universe are reflected in every detail of existence, understanding these signs becomes a key to unlocking the mysteries of life. Identifying them is not merely an intellectual exercise, but a journey of conscious perception. These patterns, present both in the microcosm of the human mind and in the macrocosm of the cosmos, carry secrets about our role in the flow of existence. In practice, observing the cycles of nature, such as sunrise and sunset, the seasons, or the movement of tides, teaches us about our own internal rhythms. They reveal that life is made of transitions, and that resisting these changes is often what generates suffering. Instead, when we align our actions and thoughts with natural flows, we make space for a more harmonious and aligned existence. This alignment requires you to be attentive to what happens around you and within you. By recognizing universal patterns in your daily life, such as the balance between action and rest or the impact of your choices on others, you begin to live more consciously. This practice not only resolves internal dilemmas but also expands your perception of what is essential. Living in accordance with these laws is not submission, but an act of wisdom. By integrating the order of the universe into your personal life, you transform every decision into a reflection of a greater harmony. It is in the meeting between the microcosm and the macrocosm that the mind finds peace, and the spirit purpose. This understanding naturally leads us to the origin of this concept, rooted in traditions that have crossed centuries and cultures. The relationship between the microcosm and the macrocosm did not emerge as an isolated idea. Its roots are deeply embedded in ancient traditions that sought to unravel the mysteries of existence. In Greek philosophy, for instance, this concept found fertile ground, being developed by thinkers such as Pythagoras and Plato, who explored the interconnection between the individual and the cosmos. Even before them, civilizations like those in Mesopotamia and Iran saw the world as a reflection of greater forces, expressed both in nature and human behavior. In China, Taoist philosophy recognized universal harmony in the flow of yin and yang, while in the Upanishads of ancient India, the connection between the self and the universe was considered essential for spiritual awakening. These systems of thought shared the idea that existence operates under a unified order. Over time, this understanding was absorbed and refined by different cultures, evolving from archaic symbols to philosophical and spiritual theories. The term microcosm and macrocosm gained prominence, especially in the works of Plato and Aristotle, but its spirit resonates across various traditions, forming a bridge between the sacred and the rational. Looking at this cultural heritage, we realize that the concept of microcosm and macrocosm does not belong to a single philosophy but is a universal link that connects eras and peoples in search of a common understanding. The idea that understanding the external universe is also understanding oneself. This historical foundation, in turn, prepared the ground for notable contributions from Plato and Aristotle, who expanded and crystallized these ideas in Western thought. Plato and Aristotle shaped the concept of microcosm and macrocosm, structuring it in a way that resonated through centuries of Western thought. For Plato, the universe was a manifestation of the cosmic soul, a superior intelligence that permeated all things and connected the material world to the world of ideas. He believed that the human being, as part of this order, possessed at its core a reflection of this universal soul, being able to comprehend the cosmos through self-knowledge. Aristotle, on the other hand, brought a more practical approach. He coined the term microcosm while studying the similarities between the human being and the universe, highlighting that the human body was, in a sense, a scaled-down map of the cosmic structure. Aristotle saw the universe as an orderly whole, governed by causes and purposes, where everything existed with an intent. For him, the observation of nature was a way to uncover the laws that govern both the cosmos and human life. The contribution of these two giants of philosophy was not limited to interpreting the world. They laid the foundation for the search for harmony between the inner and outer worlds. While Plato invites us to elevate our consciousness beyond the tangible, Aristotle shows us that existence itself is filled with clues about the divine and the rational. Together, they created a legacy that influenced not only philosophy but also science, spirituality, and the art. This legacy, when integrated into Stoic thought, gained new nuances. The Stoics expanded this vision by seeing the universe as a living organism, governed by a universal logic. This approach not only connected the human being to the cosmos but also to morality, a theme we will explore next. The Stoics viewed the universe as a living, unified organism governed by the logos, a universal reason that permeates and organizes all things. For them, the cosmos was not a collection of random events but a deeply interconnected system, where each part plays an essential role in the whole. This view gave human life an elevated meaning, connecting it to the cosmic order and natural laws. According to the Stoics, living in harmony with this order was not just a moral duty, but a source of inner peace and spiritual alignment. They believed that the human being, as an integral part of the cosmos, should shape their actions and thoughts according to the principles of the Logos. This practice involved cultivating virtue, recognizing the transience of events, and accepting what lies beyond control with serenity. The Stoics also explored the correspondence between the microcosm and the macrocosm, viewing the individual as a miniature reflection of the universal order. Just as the cosmos is guided by the Logos, they argued that the human inner reason should guide one's choices and behaviors. This direct connection between cosmic laws and personal conduct made understanding the universe not just an intellectual pursuit but a practical path to live fully and consciously. This philosophy, by integrating morality, logic, and spirituality, not only influenced Western thought but also paved the way for later traditions, such as Neoplatonism. It is within this movement that we find a deeper integration between the spiritual and the material, a theme we will explore next. Neoplatonism, led by Plotinus, deepened the relationship between the microcosm and the macrocosm by integrating the spiritual and the material into a continuous vision of existence. For Plotinus, the universe was an emanation of the One, the divine source of all creation. This process of emanation formed a constant flow that united all levels of being, from the highest, spiritual, to the most earthly and material. Plotinus's theory emphasized that everything in the universe is interconnected through this common origin. The human microcosm, with its soul, reflects the structures of the macrocosm, the universe. This connection is not merely symbolic, but a path to understanding and spiritual ascension. The human being, by turning inward and transcending the distractions of the sensible world, could reverse the process of emanation and reach the One, in a state of mystical union known as enosis. Plotinus refined Plato's ideas by emphasizing that the spiritual and the material are not opposites, but aspects of the same reality. This view of continuity inspired generations of thinkers, offering a bridge between philosophy, religion, and spiritual practice. For him, the search for inner harmony reflected the movement of the cosmos toward its divine origin, making self-knowledge a way to align the individual with the universal flow. This perspective not only expanded the philosophical thought of the time but also influenced Jewish and Islamic traditions, which reinterpreted the concept of microcosm and macrocosm within their own spiritual and philosophical structures. It is this cultural exchange that we will explore next. The concept of microcosm and macrocosm, as shaped by Greek thought, found new expressions in Jewish and Islamic spiritual traditions. In Kabbalah, for instance, the idea that the human being is a reflection of the universe is clearly manifested through the figure of Adam Kadmon, the cosmic man. This symbol, present in Kabbalistic texts, represents the unity of the human being with the cosmos, being the primordial image from which the world was created. Adam Kadmon is not just the first human being but an archetypal representation of all creation, reflecting the divine order in its entirety. Similarly, Arab philosophers such as Avicenna and Al-Farabi, influenced by Plotinus and other Neoplatonic thinkers, integrated the concepts of microcosm and macrocosm into their reflections on self-knowledge and universal understanding. They saw the human being as a point of convergence between the material and the spiritual, believing that by knowing oneself, the individual could also understand the cosmos. The idea that knowledge of one reflects the knowledge of the other became central to esoteric Islamic thought, especially in Sufi schools of thought. These interpretations were not just intellectual but profoundly spiritual, offering mystical paths for self-knowledge and spiritual ascension. The human microcosm, in many of these traditions, is not something separate from the macrocosm, but an integral part of it, and understanding this unity is what allows the human being to draw closer to the divine. The influence of Jewish and Islamic traditions on the Hermetic concept prepares the transition to the modern era, where the vision of the microcosm and macrocosm undergoes a deep reinterpretation. During the Renaissance, the revival of Hermetic and Neoplatonic ideas not only propelled philosophical thought, but also brought about a revolution in medicine and the understanding of the human body. Alchemists like Paracelsus founded an approach that viewed health as a reflection of cosmic balance. For them, the human body was a perfect microcosm, with diseases and imbalances being manifestations of disharmony with the universal laws that govern the macrocosm. The alchemical medicine, influenced by this view, was not limited to physical healing but sought to restore harmony between the body, mind, and spirit. Paracelsus, in particular, emphasized the correspondences between the natural elements and the elements of the human body. For him, the treatment of diseases was not only through remedies but through a profound understanding of the natural patterns that govern both the body and the universe. Additionally, Renaissance Hermeticism also stimulated a more holistic understanding of medicine, incorporating spiritual and philosophical practices into the care of the body. By aligning medical practice with the principles of microcosm and macrocosm, doctors and alchemists sought to heal not only the symptoms but also restore the individual's energetic balance, a concept that today resurfaces in various approaches to alternative medicine. This fusion of philosophy, medicine, and spirituality during the Renaissance illustrates how the study of the microcosm and macrocosm was a path to the total transformation of the human being, not only in terms of physical health but also in spiritual and intellectual evolution. Alchemical medicine and its holistic understanding of the human body remind us that we are intrinsically connected to the universe, and that our health is a manifestation of harmony or disharmony with the cosmic principles. With the advent of modern science and the rise of rationalism, the concept of microcosm and macrocosm became marginalized. The mechanistic view of the universe, centered on physical and observable laws, caused many spiritual and holistic ideas, such as those expressed by Hermeticism, to be relegated to a sphere of mysticism. The separation between the material and the spiritual deepened, and medicine, psychology, and science became fields dominated by cold, empirical logic. However, although the concept of microcosm and macrocosm was largely ignored by contemporary science, it continued to be preserved and adapted in esoteric and philosophical circles. Figures such as H.P. Blavatsky, the founder of Theosophy, brought these principles back in a new form. Theosophy, by integrating esotericism with a broader vision of the universe, reintroduced the idea that the human being is a reflection of the cosmos and that self-knowledge is the path to understanding the whole. Furthermore, the New Thought movement and New Age philosophy also reclaimed these ancient wisdoms, proposing that the human mind has the power to shape reality and that individual consciousness can affect the external world. These contemporary ideas continue to resonate with the Hermetic vision, suggesting that universal laws still operate in our lives, though in a more subtle form, less visible to traditional science. The concept of microcosm and macrocosm, although transformed over the centuries, remains a tool for deep reflection on the interconnection of all things. Its marginalization by science does not diminish its importance. On the contrary, it reinforces the need to reclaim this holistic view, which teaches us to recognize the reflection of the universe in every aspect of our lives. In the modern era, science, with its impressive advances, has reached limits in attempting to explain the relationship between consciousness and matter. Quantum physics, for example, has revealed aspects of the universe that challenge classical logic, and lead us to question the separation between what is internal and what is external. While science has no definitive answers to the mysteries of consciousness, it paves the way for new interpretations that resonate with Hermetic principles. The idea that the mind and the cosmos are aspects of a single reality, rather than separate entities, is beginning to gain more relevance. Understanding the internal microcosm, our thoughts, emotions, and behavior patterns can, paradoxically, be the key to transforming our view of the universe and the very meaning of life. By aligning our consciousness with universal principles, we can begin to perceive the interconnectedness of all things. This shift in perception is not limited to an esoteric or spiritual realm, but can be seen in various aspects of daily life. By recognizing that every action we take, no matter how small, has a reflection in the macrocosm, we begin to live with greater responsibility and intention. This understanding brings to light the importance of aligning our lives with universal laws that transcend matter, such as the laws of cause and effect, harmony, and balance. When we internalize these patterns, our lives become more fluid, less conflicted, and more connected to the greater purpose of the universe. Awareness of our relationship with the cosmos can, therefore, not only transform the way we view ourselves but also help us live in a more meaningful and integrated way. The microcosm and the macrocosm, therefore, are not merely ancient concepts. They are a lens through which we can understand the complexities of the modern world and, more importantly, our role within it. As above, so below; as below, so above. This phrase, a reflection of the law of correspondence, reminds us that harmony between the inner and outer, between the human being and the universe, is a key to understanding our place in the whole. If you want to gain a deeper understanding of yourself and unlock your hidden potential, I invite you to explore my ebook Alchemy and Archetypes, Exploring Inner Transformation Through Jungian Psychology. Inside, you'll find practical exercises that reveal the secrets of Jungian psychology and how to integrate them into your life.